The Wii, in my opinion, is the best console ever made. And if anybody disagrees with me, I got my Wii gun, my Wii tennis racket, and my Wii golf club.
It was a console that proved you can make the most underpowered console in the generation, but as long as you can get granny to play fake boxing, you'll be topping those sales charts. Originally unveiled as the Revolution in 2005, before being renamed the Wii in 2006, it received over 100 million sales and is one of the best-selling consoles of all time. Opinions on the Wii have consistently been pretty mixed since its release, but it still has some things to offer. During its time in the market, the Wii was looked down upon by many for appealing to a more casual audience. But as time went on, people like me, who grew up with the Wii, have looked back on it more fondly and appreciated its best aspects. And one of the most underappreciated parts of the Wii in my opinion are the controllers. These glorified TV remotes are very unique and well designed. Unlike the Joy-Cons, they are just the right size to be comfortable to use, and they were cheaper than the 360 and PS3 controllers. It didn't have many buttons compared to its competition, but most games worked pretty well within those limits, and the nunchuck could be attached for 2 more lettered buttons than an analog stick. In 2009, Nintendo released the Wii Motion Plus. It could detect motion more accurately for games like Wii Sports Resort and Skyward Sword. Upon turning the Wii on itself, you hear a lovely ear-piercing screech, and are presented with a menu that, much like the rest of the Wii, is very unique. The layout is probably my favourite part, with everything being presented as a channel, that each have their own little tune to go with them. I didn't use too many channels before the servers got shut down, but I do remember the Wii being the main way I watched Netflix and YouTube when I was younger. The photo channel is something that I mess around with every once in a while when I have nothing to do. Here you can draw a load of stuff on pictures and solve puzzles made out of images. Then there's the famed Me channel, where you can create yourself, or anything really, while listening to a pretty funky tune. Additionally, there was a feature that let you save Miis to your Wii remote and transfer them to other systems. I never did this myself, but it's something that I haven't seen being brought up before. Nintendo still utilise the Miis today, but they are most prominently used in the Wii, with most first-party Nintendo games incorporating them in some way. Then there was Wii Sports, the game that came bundled with the Wii, as well as the main cause of broken TVs in 2006. The game contains 5 sports to play, as well as mini-games related to each sport and a fitness test.
Wii Sports was a great example of what the Wii could do in 2006, but it wasn't really a proper game, and a few years later, it would get a sequel.
2009 rolls around and Nintendo are thinking, Wii Sports and Resort. Game of the Year. Wii Sports Resort has always had a bit of a weird name in my opinion, because all of the other games in the Wii series sound like something you do, such as Wii Do Sports, Wii Play, Wii Party, Wii Do Music, and then there's Wii Do Sports Resort. It just doesn't really fit in with the rest of the titles under the Wii name. But the game itself is amazing. Nintendo put an incredible amount of effort into a party game, when they could have just resold Wii Sports with 3 more games. It's worth buying for the single player content alone, like who needs Hyrule Warriors when I got Wii Swordplay. Wii Sports Resort features 20 sports, some of which are improved versions of ones from the last game, such as bowling and golf. I like most of the sports in the game. Please note that I said most and not all, because
Table tennis sucks! Not because it's bad or anything, but because it replaced Wii Tennis. And Wii Tennis... Like, who even likes tables? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be talking about games, aren't I?
Metroid Prime 3 is the only Metroid Prime I've played, and it's absolutely incredible. The bosses are a blast, and even though I'm not super interested in it, there's a ton of lore information to find. The motion controls work really well, and they make fighting enemies really fast paced. And there's the Metroid Prime Trilogy too, which comes with Prime 3, as well as 1 and 2 with motion controls. Keeping the subject in space, one of my favourite games ever made, Super Mario Galaxy. This is definitely one of the most beloved Wii games, and for good reason. It's very polished, and since Mario Galaxy takes place in space, the goals and themes of each level vary greatly. The music here is phenomenal. Mario wouldn't exactly be a character you would associate with an orchestra, but it works blissfully. Mario Galaxy is more linear than 3D games before it, but it still has a lot of exploration. One problem I had is that the purple coin stars aren't that fun, as they are required to get 100 purple coins in a pretty similar way to Mario 64. Some levels create unique ways to get them, but in most of them you'll be spending a lot of your time looking for one coin that you missed. There's also Mario Galaxy 2, which I can't really review because a few years ago the disc got scratched and when I put it in, I get this.
This should work. Come on!
I still do remember some things I thought about Galaxy 2 though. I recall liking it a lot, but it didn't have the same atmosphere as Galaxy 1. The backgrounds are a cloudy sky rather than a black space, and the game is a lot more restrictive overall, leading to Galaxy 2 not having the same epic feel as the first. Nevertheless, it is still a great platformer, even if it lacks a sense of adventure from Galaxy 1.
The Wii Shop channel was the place to buy digital games on the Wii.
The Wii Shop channel was sadly shut down in February 2019, and even though it wasn't known for having the highest quality titles, there were still some hidden gems, most of which were ported to other systems thankfully. WiiWare was the name given to these games, and I actually never bought any of them, but I still played some in my cousin's house. One of my favourites was Chick Chick Boom, a former Flash game that was available for a limited time in 2007, before becoming a WiiWare exclusive. There was a demo available, which is the only kind of WiiWare game I have. But WiiWare wasn't the only thing you could buy on the Wii. There was also the Virtual Console, which was a series of games from past consoles made available on the Wii, Wii U, and 3DS. Despite being the first to get the Virtual Console, the Wii ended up having the largest offering of games, and I did buy a couple, and when I say a couple, I literally mean a couple because I only bought 2. Both games run fine, and I assume this consists through other Virtual Console titles, but unfortunately the Wii's Virtual Console went away with the rest of the Wii Shop in 2019. Early models of the Wii are backwards compatible with GameCube games. This was great, because unlike systems on the Virtual Console, you could play any GameCube game on the Wii, which is pretty convenient. Certain games such as Smash Bros and Mario Kart let you use GameCube controllers instead of Wii remotes. You can of course still play GameCube games on the Wii today, because the discs are physical as opposed to buying digital games in the Wii Shop. Later models of the Wii, like the Wii Mini, don't have this feature though, but you can easily check if your Wii is backwards compatible by looking for the controller ports at the top of the system. The games I've covered so far are what most people would typically call some of the best Wii games. But there is one hidden gem that people don't talk about too often, and that game is Rabbids Go Home.
And that's why people never listen to my opinion.
Most people like to stay at least 10 meters away from anything that says Rabbids on it, because they are known for multiple of things, including ruining Rayman, being in crappy party games, and having an annoying sense of humour. While the Rabbids' annoying toilet humour still stays true for this entry, the game itself was really fun. The plot revolves around the Rabbids trying to get to the moon by creating a massive mountain of items, ranging from hospital beds to airplane jets. You collect everything in a shopping trolley, and the more items you get, the more prizes you earn at the end of each level. The main objective of each mission is to get one large item while fighting enemies and dodging obstacles. It's nothing revolutionary, but it's definitely a unique game worth checking out, and it can be found for a lot cheaper than the other games I've mentioned. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is another great game, although it is often criticised for being a lot slower than other Smash Bros. Games, and many of the mechanics have been improved in later entries. The story mode, called the Subspace Emissary, is still very unique to Brawl and worth your time. Mario Kart Wii, like Brawl, does have later entries that improve on it, but the game has a big community, and I really like how characters and tracks are unlocked in this one. The Wii was also the first console where Mario and Sonic crossed over in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. The games aren't amazing, but they're an important piece of Sega and Nintendo history. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is far from my favourite Zelda game, as I really don't like the motion controls on this one. Despite this, it definitely has the most fleshed out story of the series, and I would recommend it if you're a fan.
Despite what I said earlier, the Wii is far from the perfect console. Its widespread appeal led to a load of shovelware, and its motion controls became a very important part of the 7th generation of consoles, for better and for worse. Though if you look past all the crappy party games and unreliable internet services, there's a console that has some great games, fun memories, and a whole load of gimmicks.